Good morning, Ring to Ruby. Thank you all so much for being here. And for those of you that aren't with us live, thanks for watching us back. I made an announcement last week that we are turning the training over to our wonderful participants in Ring to Ruby. And Jodi Burgers gladly accepted my invitation to train us this week. And so I am going to turn it directly over to her. And let's all just rally around her, knowing that this is obviously out of our comfort zones, but I'm so proud of you, Jodi, for stepping up to do this. And so I'm going to turn it over to you to train this amazing group.
All right, thanks, Rainey. I have to tell you, when I got that message from Rainey, I thought she had jumped out of a tree and hit her head or something, because I'm like, are you serious? But you know, that's part of this business is, and I was just reading it in my Bible this morning about stepping out of your comfort zone and stretching. And so today I would just want to share with you, it's all things you've probably heard before, but it's just in a different matter, or the way I'll say it, but it's on goals and dreams. And so I want you to remember back when we first got, and first of all, I want to tell you I apologize for always looking down, but I got notes because otherwise I would be all over the place. But I want you to remember when we first got that invite to join the Rank to Ruby page, what did you feel? You know, were you excited? You know, for me, I was really excited, and I thought, oh my God, this is great. I'll be able to spend the weekend with these lovely ladies and do all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden that doubt and that fear set in. So I want you, okay, when they first put that out there, what was the first assignment she had us do? She had us post our goals on the page. Well, that was out there for everybody to see. And so the reason she wanted that was for accountability. And so when, for us to get to our dream, which is diamond, I'm pretty sure everybody on here wants to go to diamond, we have to have smaller goals. Because otherwise we're going to be all over the place and we're not going to reach it. Anybody in business has goals, whether it's how many customers they want coming through their door. They've got this all jotted down, and they look at it daily and monthly to see where they're at. And that's what we need to do in our Plexus business. We need to set those tiny goals out, write them down, verbalize them so that they get between our two eyes here to where they're real and they're tangible. Keep them in front of you, because in order for us to go diamond, we're going to have to do that. Now, each one of our paths are different. Each one of us can be diamond, and we will be diamond. Did you catch that, will? Remember, keep in mind how you talk to yourself. Don't say if, maybe, but will. So with each one of our paths being different, like I said, we all have to do the same thing, and that's what Rainey and all of our jewels are doing each week when they have us join these calls, is they're trying to program into us to be consistent with things. So you write down, okay, I'm going to contact 3 people today. I'm going to call 5. You know, you verbalize this, but you don't actually write it down. You're probably not going to achieve it. You need to write it down, verbalize it, and then you'll do it. I know for me, I can be all over the place, and you guys will notice that in this call today, because I'm just kind of a scatterbrain. I go all over. My sister told me to keep it real and be myself, so with that, I apologize. But the problem with the world we have today that we live in, we are doing something that people normally don't do. Normal people go to a job every day and they work for somebody else, and then they come home and they can do whatever they want. We're in network marketing. We're reaching out to people all the time. And our friends and family, they get uncomfortable with that because we're not doing the normal. And so even though they may not join you, don't get discouraged with that, because they still, in the back of their mind, they're supporting you, but they're just scared. And when you have friends that tell you you can't do it, you need to protect your mind. You need to not let it get to you, and just know that you will achieve this. So I want to throw some things out there, because we're talking, Rainey's always talked about goals, writing them down, being specific, Not just saying I want a house, but writing down, what do you want in that house? How big is that house? What colors do you want for your decorating and all this stuff? Deer season just opened up not too long ago. So do you think those people that bought the license, that's all they had to do was buy the license to get that deer? Probably not. They need to make a plan. They need to have goals. They had to buy their gun. They had to have their ammunition. They probably have a route that they want to go to find those deer. My point with this is they had to put the effort in to get it. They just can't buy that license. And so when we decided to do this business, it's more than the $34.95. We need to put that effort in to get where we want to be. And sometimes that, or most of the time, that is stepping out of our comfort zone and doing things that we're not used to. Our dreams is our why, and that's our destination. And, you know, again, you've heard everybody always talk about you have to have a strong why. And for myself, I had the same why from day one, and that was to retire my husband. But I got to thinking the other day, I need a why for me. Maybe my why for my husband, okay, it's there, but I need a why that affects directly me. One that brings tears to my eyes, ones that a dream that I want, that I'm passionate about. Because maybe Roger isn't ready to retire right now. So maybe that in the back of my mind, that's why I'm not achieving that part. I need, like I say, a goal for me. And so I challenge you guys to really ask you, is your goal something that you absolutely cannot live without, that you want so bad that you will do whatever you have to do, regardless of what your family member says or your closest friend? Today you see a lot of posts out there about, can I share on your page? Again, I don't want you to get discouraged if your closest friend hasn't responded to that. Don't worry about it. Just move on. So I told you that our journeys are all going to be different. And some of these roads, when you look at the diamonds and stuff before, they probably had the straight shot because it was new and they were really on the ground floor. Well, now that it's been around a little bit more, you're going to run into some curves in our road, in our journey to diamond. Those curves, take them, hug them, just embrace them, because they are building character in you. And believe me, they're building character in me. But I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing today. But there again, Rainey knows what she's doing. She's stretching us, and we need to embrace that. So when you hit those curves, again, don't get discouraged. Dig into a book, do some reading, do some self-development, and just keep going. Whatever you do, don't quit. Just looking at my notes here. So it's, and I kind of talked to you about the farmer and always watering his plant, their crops, or praying for rain, and they put the crop in. They're not going to see the wheat come up tomorrow. So when we make that call, don't expect them to respond right away. Give them time, and a few days later, give them another little nugget that they might, interest. So I don't know if any of you have been on the team page, but you've seen Rainey's post out there again about not growing. There again, she is pushing us out of our comfort zone and asking us to do more things. And so we need to be willing to do that all the time. Always be stretching. Okay, hang on here. So when we put our goals down, that we need to have a deadline. Okay, so back to that first assignment Rainey had. She wanted us to map out how we were going to get to Ruby by January. And let me tell you, I totally misunderstood that, because I put my big goal out there. You need to have those short-term goals. What are you doing today? What are you doing tomorrow? And then stick with it. Treat it like a job. If you had a boss, you would go to work and you would do what he asked you. So give yourself that much and be firm with your goals and actually do them. Don't let life get in the way if you can. A goal without a deadline is merely a wish, and you probably won't achieve it. So that's why we want to put deadlines on our goals. I will make 5 calls today by 10 o'clock tonight. And that's another thing. You don't typically want to probably call people past 9 o'clock at night just to be courteous. But, you know, have that deadline on your goals. And if you miss a goal, does that mean you failed? No, you didn't fail. It just means you're going to change it. The only way you're going to fail, guys, is if we quit. And I refuse to fail because I am not going to quit. It might take me longer, but I will get there. So what are we all aiming for right now? We're aiming for that planner. And so we are really pushing it right now. Again, that was a goal. We had to have it by November 30th. And so I pray each one of us are able to next week show our planners. And whatever we have to do today, we need to get out and do it. Sometimes our goals can seem overwhelming, but that's why we make the small ones to get there. And when we write them down, it makes them real. It puts them into our subconscious. And so the other thing I really want to talk to you guys about is our self-talk. And I've always been a big one on that because I even caught myself this weekend with that little bit of doubt sneaking in, and I had to correct myself. Always try to say, I will. You know, don't settle for if, because you are planting that seed in your mind. And whenever you're feeling down, like I said earlier, hop on YouTube. Find some of those videos that really motivate you and listen to them as much as you have to. So when Rainey asked me to do this call, I did. I got really nervous. I thought, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? How am I want to reach you guys. I want to know how much I believe in all of you, and as you guys all believe in everybody. And it reminded me of this story about this guy that was going to go on a bike ride, and his friend asked him, do you want to go on the MS 150 with me? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll go on that. Well, he hadn't ridden bike in years, and he had to ride 150 miles, and he got overwhelmed, and he went home and he told his wife, you know, like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? Kind of like, what did we get ourselves into with Plexus? What do you mean I have to talk to people? I don't like talking to people. Well, his wife said, you start by doing short little trips. You will get there. And so the guy that he was riding with broke it down. He says, okay, we're going to ride X amount of miles today. And then he put a nugget at the end, because this is going to be a fun place to end. There's going to be a lot of cool things to do, and we'll make it that far. He did it. It didn't seem that hard. And so that's with us in our Plexus business. We have those little nuggets hanging out there for us to grab on our way to Diamond. And so, you know, I guess the thing I want to express is being consistent, writing down the small goals, even if they seem silly, you know, like, oh, I should know to do that. Write it down. Share your goals. When you write those goals down, I want you to share them. And there again, that's where Rainey had us put it on the team page, because it made us accountable to everybody. And so when we find our power partner or whoever it may be that we're going to run with this business, share your goals with them. That way they know and they can keep encouraging you. I already talked about planning our journey and our daily activities, and we need to be sure to make sure that those activities also include income producing activities. And to me, that one can be, you know, actually picking up the phone and calling. And so I'm really kind of excited about Rainey's new challenge she has out there. And always keep your eye on the prize. Don't ever compare yourself with a sideline that's growing faster, or somebody that isn't struggling like you. They've always maybe had that little gold spoon in their family. Don't compare yourself, because when you get up on that stage on Emerald, you're going to be an awesome Emerald. You're going to be an amazing Diamond. And also, as we go on, I think it's really important to be journaling our journey. You know, why did we start Plexus? When did we start it? For myself, I started it just to get it at wholesale. So when did I decide to actually build the business? Well, that was when I got that first check, and I didn't know why I got that first check. But be writing this stuff down. Be writing down these cool relationships that you are getting. I look around and I see all these names of people that I haven't actually personally met, but I consider you my friends. And this is a safe community we're in. We can be ourselves and we're not going to be judged. But, you know, writing down our journey so that when we do our documentary, we'll know to add all these little funny things and these little challenges that we've had to do on the way. And they do build character. And each one of us is unique. We're going to have a different path to get there. And the biggest thing is don't quit. Before you go to bed each night, make a list of everything that you want to do the following day. Spend some time with our Lord and just pray on our goals. And I guess that's kind of what I really wanted to touch with you guys on today, was just reaffirming what we already know, writing down our goals, having our dream. And so when you hang up out or get off this call today, I want you to ask yourself, is my why strong enough? Or do I need a stronger why? And do whatever it takes to be the Super Saturday. It's all these little things that will get us to our big goal. So don't ever cut yourself short, guys. You can do this. And as Rainey says, you're all amazing. And I know she asked me to keep this like at 20 minutes, but surprise, guys, I don't know what else I want to share with you right now.
First of all, I think you did a great job. This is never an easy thing to step out. Yeah, absolutely, you guys. I'm going to change this to the gallery view so I can see everybody. And we can open it up for some questions or even comments for you. And Jodi, you did a great job. What I love about this training is being able to have you guys talk to one another. And I think it is so much more relatable to hear information coming from your peer than maybe it is from somebody who's already achieved a dual rank. And so that was the purpose behind turning this training over. And what I took many notes, and I don't know if it's on Jodi or not, but I was writing as you were speaking. And Kelly pointed out that she loved the idea of journaling. And I do too. I think what an amazing takeaway that we can all implement today, no matter how long you've been a part of this journey, or if you're just starting, but to be able to look back and think of, write down vulnerably, because you're going to be most honest, obviously, with yourself, but to vulnerably write down where you are, each day, every few days, however you journal, where you are and, what the challenges were, because you can go back and revisit and how you handled the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And so, we think about that in our personal lives, but I've honestly never thought about that for my business. And I absolutely cherish that takeaway. So thank you for that. And this is, like I said, never an easy thing to do. And so I would love for you all just to maybe take a few minutes here, and I'm going to keep it on the recording, and let's give Jodi some feedback. And, you can either type that in or you can ask questions, but this is a great time just to open it up to the team.
First of all, I also wanted to say, though, when I was talking about journaling and my why I got in the business, when I look around my screen now and I see some of these names, okay, yeah, my why is because I want freedom. I want less stress in my life. You build friendships with, oh my gosh, like April Blackman. Have I ever met her personally? Not yet. But do I want to disappoint her? No. And so you find the longer you're in the business, you actually fall in love with these people, and you don't want to disappoint them neither. So that becomes part of your why.
Well, it's so important to get plugged in. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's fairly easy to quit an opportunity, not easy to quit a friend or a relationship that you've made. And so that's very important as we build our teams, make sure we get our people plugged in, but that we also put ourselves out there and form relationship, whether that's via our downlines, our uplines, our sidelines. I just like to call it all the way around. I think it's incredibly important to build those relationships. Just go circular, all around you. And so keep that in mind as you are traveling through your journey.
I would like to let everybody know that not only is Jodi a peer, she's my sponsor, but best of all, she's my sister. And Jodi, you did an awesome job today. I'm so proud of you.
You're prejudiced, though.
No, you did great.
That's so sweet, Sherry. I love you for speaking up for Jodi in so many ways, and she did. Yes, sister love. She did an amazing job, and I never take lightly when I ask you all to step up. I know it's not easy. It's not easy to train, but I know this from training in the past is that I walk away. I think as the person presenting the information, I think you walk away more equipped than the people that you're training, because you have to prepare, you have to be the expert. And so know that as you go through this journey and you're asked to step up or volunteer. I mean, I was always that kid that whenever we had a project due, I always wanted just to get it out of the way. I was one of the first to volunteer because I wanted to be able to sit back and just have it easy breezy for the rest of the time, because I know if I stepped up that I wouldn't be called on, right? So, keep that in mind too as we're going through. I think Jen said that she has her person for next week, and so I'll let her make that announcement maybe later on today or maybe tomorrow on the Ring to Ruby page. Does anybody have any questions?
We leave here at 9:10. Jodi, I just wanted to say that you did a great job. And one of the things that I heard a lot from you were just the fundamentals of what it really takes to run the business. And especially for me, I'm on the apparently on the slow track. And I need that pep talk and a reminder of the fundamentals. Evidently, I need that frequently. So anyway, I really appreciate what you said. I think you did a great job, and you have refreshed me, and I really appreciate it.
You're so sweet. And that's one thing I'll say that I have learned just from doing other things too. When we listen to these calls and we think that they're making these things up, these are all things that have been done for years in network marketing. And I will have to say, I actually love the way Rainey and Heather and all of our upline teach, because they have a way of speaking to us. And so I'm glad I was able to refresh you a little bit today.
I agree. At the end of the day, we're always going to go back to the basics in this business. Very rarely will you hear an idea that is brand new. It may be presented in a different way. But what I love about this business is that everything that we do is easy. Now, doing the opposite of it is slightly easier. So, for example, it's easy to follow up with someone. It's slightly easier to not follow up with them. So where you have the edge is actually staying in activity. It's kind of like exercise, you guys. You don't feel like doing it, but once you do, you feel so good about it. And typically when you're frustrated in your business, I think you can look back and if you're doing an honest assessment, say, am I doing everything that I know to do? And most of the time the answer is no, that you're not. But when you stay in activity, even if you're not getting the results right away, you can lay your head down at night feeling convicted, feeling comfortable, feeling content that you're working your business. I know when I've been frustrated in my business, I can also point it back to me and say, but I didn't follow up with as many people as I should have, or I didn't reach out to a new person, a few new people, 10 new people, whatever my goal is for the day. I didn't do that. So how can I really be upset? So keep that in mind as you're traveling through your day, traveling through goals. I don't want you to look at the fact that we have only 2 days left to reach our November goals. You have 2 days left. So maximize the hours that we have. Maximize your efforts, maybe push down a little bit more on that accelerator pedal and to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Because what I know is that you can still do it. That, you know, sometimes, you know, what is it? Today I was listening to a training by Bob Heilig, and basically to summarize it, he was saying that most trees over a period of time grow steady and slow. But he was referring to the bamboo tree, and that actually it takes 4 years for the bamboo tree to even break ground, that every single day it needs to be watered and fertilized. But that once it breaks ground, and I don't have the stat here because so here's where my details fail me. But basically it grows 90 feet in a very short period of time after it took the 4 years to break ground. And so I want you to keep that in mind in your businesses, that typically, and I can look back on my notes of my day-to-day and say, I grew my business in 90-day increments, meaning I hit the ground, you know, for 90 days. And in those times, I can look back and say, okay, that's where this bulk of income came from, was that 90 days of period. So what I'm saying, and today I've made a little graphic saying that we're all amazing and we all do amazing things, and that we're laying the groundwork for 2017. And so that's really where I want your mindset to lay, is that don't worry about, you know, the result today. Know that you're laying a groundwork for an amazing 2017, because if I feel anything in my bones and kind of the ground rumbling and shaking, is that 2017 is going to be a banner year. And especially for those of you that have remained consistent and show up and rewatch these recordings, that makes my heart happy. And that's what I know about this team. So I appreciate all of you. I am going to thank you all for joining. I'm going to end the recording and say thank you. And I'll say thank you. So I'm stopping now.